It is September 12th. It is a Thursday. So I'm doing this at about 11 p.m. at night before Friday. So this is the video log. It takes 30,000 to a million, by the way. BT dubs, 1 second. All right. So I just want to update you on what's going on with the account. Really, nothing super revelating today, but I did want to update you on some of the trades that I've had. I've missed a really big opportunity, but even though I missed that opportunity, I know that Apple call. Even though I missed it, I'm still sitting close to an all-time high. I am a lot higher than I was on the last video, which is nice, but I could have been a lot more higher. All right, so I just want to update you and also maybe talk a little bit about the silver market and whatnot. So going into the browser, it is, but the account sitting at 69,342 for all those of you listening on the audio only. And I was at 69,550 yesterday. Was my all-time high, which is nice. This is what the weekly chart looks like here. The monthly chart, the 3 months chart, yearly chart, and the all-time chart. For those of you who haven't seen this, I started making movies and taking this, or videos, taking this account seriously about on August 18th, 2018. So I've had a pretty dramatic rise ever since I put the time and effort and research into it. I'm really happy to be again at all-time highs or near all-time highs. Now, how did I achieve this? Well, my big play on Apple kind of paid off. So if I go under Apple here, I'll show you. So if you remember, I had a very calculated gamble on Apple's, well, very, pretty calculated gamble on Apple's announcement event for the new iPhones and watch and everything else. So you can see this trade right over here where I had bought a call for a 205 call for the 13th tomorrow, and I sold it $600 more the following week and 7 days later. So it was about like 134% gain within that time, $600 in the pocket, which is great. What's not great though is that the following day, right after I sold it, on the Wednesday, Apple experienced a dramatic rise. So I could have had an extra 1,000 in my account. I would have been sitting over $70,000 account. I would have been sitting on. So, but I'm not, unfortunately, which is okay. So I'm just gonna let my current Apple positions play out as they are. In other news, EXK was pretty flat. C-SPAN had a really nice move up. I mentioned that I was going to let C-SPAN grow, so I sold the call at $12.50 rather than the usual $10 because it seemed like it wanted to go higher. So as you can see here, C-SPAN is already at $11.61, which puts me at $322 already in the green instead of just the premium. So that was a really good call there. I had still hold that, that extra $30, I'm gonna get it. If, of course, C-SPAN does not drop below $10, which is my entry price. So that's what's going on with C-SPAN. I'm really, really happy about this. I've been trading C-SPAN for maybe like 10 years or so. So I like where it's going and what it's doing. In other news, Energy Fuels continues to climb quietly with URG, which are the U.S. uranium producers. There was some kind of a talk that there was going to be some kind of act or action to help the American uranium producers because they're being outcompeted by state-sponsored entities abroad, namely Kazakhstan. And so we'll see what happens with that. Chemical has been rising. If you know, I've mentioned this in many videos now, how I thought it was going to bottom out here at the $8 level and going to see a rebound, and we're seeing that rebound right now. So I've been profiting off of that rebound quite a bit. And also I mentioned that over $9 I'll be looking to sell calls against this position. That's exactly what I've been doing. I even have one queued up tomorrow, so I'm looking for that trade to execute. It's going to be another call sold against my shares. I have now 400 shares collateralized, and I'm going to be getting another 100 shares collateralized pretty soon. So I still have 400 more shares that I can sell calls against, and I'll just be waiting for a higher price if it happens. as Chemical approaches $10. I'm going to be selling $11 calls instead of $10 calls. In case it wants to run further, I'm going to give Chemical the opportunity to do so. And I'm pretty happy about how that's moving. And the Chemical and C-SPAN have been major contributors to these all-time highs. It's not just the Apple play. The Apple play is probably 1,000 of those gains, and then $500 from Chemical and C-SPAN. So even though my account is pretty correlated with Apple, it isn't just Apple, right? This 1 year chart is a lot better looking than Apple, right? So if we look at the Apple chart for 1 year, this is what it looks like, right? So, I mean, it's roughly correlated, but I'm definitely doing better with my other trades. So I'm really happy about that. I'll continue to sell for premium, continue to collect dividends in premium, and slowly grow the account. That is how I decided to do it from the beginning, and that's kind of the strategy that I'm going to be sticking to. I'm going to take every once in a while gambles here and there like I did with the Apple one. That one paid off. I've had a few more that have paid off. I had a couple that didn't, and it's painful, but thankfully my judgment has carried me through so far. Hopefully I am prepared for a downturn, since right now I don't really have much to protect me from the downside in this account besides my very small silver positions, which are tending to go up with market downturns nowadays for various reasons, which I probably will explain some other time. And also I have the uranium, which is not very correlated with the market, but the biggest downside protection I have so far is this Apple call that I sold a long time ago as part of initiating my option positions for Apple. And right now it's worth $2,800, almost $2,900, this call. So if Apple drops down to $200 by by January 17th next year, then all of that will be erased. So I have a little bit of downside protection. I can save those $3,000. But in general, I still have puts that are worth $500 each, a couple of them. And of course, outside of that, I have another 47 shares which are not committed to being sold if the price is over $200 by January 17th. So I have those 47 shares still that I just plain own, right? So they're going to be obviously 100% correlated with Apple's movement. Now, that's it with the stocks. About the silver market, it's showing out some kind of bottoming process, but I don't know how long it will stay. Gold and silver, it's kind of showing strength in the face of a bullish market, which usually is a downward force on things like gold and therefore silver, because there's going to be less demand for downwards, for the fear factor is not going to be there, right? Everything's going to be okay. The interest rates are not going to be lowered, and so therefore gold trade usually should be suffering under those conditions, but it's still staying around $5,000, $1,500. It's not really moving downwards much from there, so it's showing that strength, but I don't really know how long it's going to be lasting. Turning down video. Encoding overload. What does that even mean? Anyways, so to continue on, so gold is really not seeing that much downward action, at least in U.S. term dollars. In fact, in other currencies, most of the other countries are experiencing new all-time highs in gold, and it's not really that big of a correction. So it's holding up really strong. The downward sentiment in the U.S. is very temporary, I guess, if just a few days, right? But the thing that scares me about silver is those two consecutive big down days that we had last week, right? And that's pretty scary. Usually that means that it's going to be a while until we see new all-time highs. And my guess was that it's going to be at least 6 months. Maybe I'm wrong about that, maybe not. If there's a correction further, I'll look to scale into EXK. Which is my, I guess, still, even with its problems, my silver miners of choice, because of leverage and potential out there. And so I choose to scale, and even though it's sitting at around 250 right now, I don't want to sell options. I don't want to sell put options to collect stock anymore, because if there is a downside, it might be really sharp. It might be a really sharp downside, and I don't want to get stuck with that. I would rather scale in, because then I can collect EXK at much lower prices rather than a little bit lower prices. And so I don't think that collecting the premium is worth the risk. All right, so that's why I'm not going to be selling puts, even though EXK is conveniently sitting around $2.50 mark right now. So I think it's an interesting point, something to think about for you silver investors out there and EXK investors. Yeah, I'm not selling puts. I'm just gonna scale in, and so far I still have those 200 shares of EXK that I bought around 250, and as it goes down further, I'll be scaling. All right, that's about it. That's my plans. Silver market, Apple covered it. Profit, yes, could have been better. Yes, could have been 1,000 more. Yes, near all-time highs, 69,000 something and change. Hopefully over 70,000 soon. All right, that's about it. I'll make another video hopefully tomorrow, probably not. Hopefully over the weekend. If not, I'll see maybe on Monday. All right, that's it. Peace out.